And sun shining again, blue sky, 72 degrees. My wife is cleaning up the yard. Does this torture ever end? Well, here's another 021 that got running fine now. But here, let me show you. Let me see if I can find that. Is it in here? Yeah. Oh God, I shouldn't have thrown it away because it's pretty interesting. Let me clean this up. I gotta get the oil off my hands. 1 second. Okay, right here, there's supposed to be a hose connected to that goes up over this and hangs down. And what it is, and it's got like a one-way valve on the end of it, and it's this vent tube where it can suck air in. As the carburetor pulls gas out of the gas tank, it has to have a means of replacing that space with air. Otherwise, you get vapor locked, like it creates a vacuum and it can't suck gas anymore. Well, the hose broke, and what somebody did was put this, when I opened it up, was right here. Plugging off the vent, the gas vent. So, it's not going to work. It won't work. It might run for a little bit and then it quits. So then, because it wouldn't run, they had these screws all messed up, the adjustment screws. So I went ahead and took the carburetor off. I put a new diaphragm on just because I have one, and this isn't, it's not crinkly and like some of them I've taken off before. So I put a new diaphragm in, put the carburetor back on. A friend of mine is on his way over to Marshall, Texas to do something, and I asked him if he'd pick up a vent tube, a new clutch, because this one's pretty wore out. And then look at these roller bearings, the cage bearings. That's what happened. They're completely disintegrated. So this is going to be a nice little saw. I just needed a little bit of love, just a little bit. And by this afternoon, this thing will be ready to put up for sale. I'm probably going to ask $200 for it, and I'll take $175. These are great little saws. And going to have to stop right now. My wife wants her mulching blades on her lawnmower. And then before the day is over, I want to cut a couple of trees, small trees, get them on the ground, because today is a burn day, and I don't want to miss out on getting some trees on the fire. All right, when I get everything, all my parts and everything, and put this back together. So what I will have into this is $50 for the saw, and then for a new clutch, new roller bearings, and the vent tube, about another $25. So, I will at least double my money. That's pretty good. Well, a friend of mine picked up these parts for me in Marshall, Texas, and the wrong bearing doesn't fit in there. Wrong vent tube, and this is the parts guy. So I'm just going to order the parts online, because I know what I'm looking at when I see them online. I know what to order. Oh well, it's running. It runs great. I got it all tuned up. I mean, not all tuned up. I got to put a bar on it and run it, tune it while you're cutting. Not at the same time, but you cut with it and then you fine tune it. Get it right, and then I'll be able to sell it. So I'm close. But anyway, aggravating. And my friend told me that when he went to pick up the parts, the guy was kind of a smart aleck. And let me tell you, let me shut this light off. Okay. The place is called Fish and Still, and it's in Marshall, Texas, and they sell John Deere tractors and, all kinds of stuff, but they're also a steel dealer. And I went there. I'll tell you what I bought. This 390 right here. Is this 390 or 391? I can't remember. Okay, that's a 391. And I was asking the parts guy what he knew about these. And he did not want to talk. A parts guy, or a service guy. But while I was paying for the chainsaw, I was talking about a gator, telling him I was kind of interested in a gator. And he was real rude about it. He said, well, I don't know nothing about them. You'll have to talk to a salesman. Like that. Really, really unpleasant. So I didn't really want to talk to a salesman because I wasn't at the point where I was ready to buy one yet. I was still doing some research on, razors and mules, and Honda has one. I knew what I wanted. I knew I didn't want nothing fancy. I wanted just something to carry my tools around and hook a trailer to. So anyway, I reluctantly talked to a salesman just to get a price. And the guy, he didn't know nothing from nothing. He didn't know the sales figures. He didn't know they had... See, John Deere was running this 0% financing. And I have good credit. I don't have no money, but I've got excellent credit. And that's what I wanted, was a 0% financing. And he didn't know a thing about it. And to top it all off, there's certain things that some people just cannot stand. With me, it's people who chew tobacco. When you're talking, their teeth are brown and they've got these little bits of tobacco in their teeth, which is bad enough. But while they're talking to you, they pick a cup up and they spit into this cup, and they're carrying this, or a bottle, and they're carrying this cup of spit around with them. It makes me want to vomit. It probably doesn't do that to anybody else, but to me, it is the most foul and nasty habit you could possibly have. But I'm a fat guy. Probably people look at me and say, oh, that's just disgusting. How can anybody get that fat? So we all have our little things that really bother us deeply. And people who chew tobacco, I can't deal with it. My friend Pat chews tobacco, but he's cool about it. He goes somewhere else and spits, and he doesn't carry a nasty bottle of spit around with him, or a cup of spit. And I don't have to look at it. But anyway, so I couldn't deal with it. I said, well, I got to go. I only had a minute to talk. I just couldn't deal with standing there watching him spit every 2 minutes into a cup. And then as he was talking, his teeth were just filled with tobacco, and they're brown, and it just grosses me out. I don't know why. So I went from there over to Bossier City, Louisiana, and that's where I bought this, at the John Deere dealer in Bossier. Friendly guy, knowledgeable, knew all about the 0% financing, hooked me right up, and they delivered it the next day. So there you go. All it takes is a couple of people. The parts guy was a dick, and the salesman didn't know a thing about their own financing programs, and he knew very little about this. He couldn't answer any questions. And then on top of that, he had a really foul, nasty habit. Probably not foul or nasty to anybody but me, but that's just the way I feel about it. And my point is, all it takes is one or two people to turn a customer off, and I'm sure they're not going to miss my little old $10,000. But if 10 people come in to buy a $10,000 piece of equipment, and they encounter the parts guy who's a jerk and a smart ass, and then they have to go and talk to the salesman who, while he's talking to you, is spitting this brown spit into a cup and carrying it around with him, out the door you go. They lose 10 customers. Okay, I have gone on about this for too long. Sometimes I do that. I got nobody else to talk to. My wife is out yonder, a couple 100 feet, whittling away on our fence line. She wants to clear the fence line of all the stuff that's hanging over it, because I have no idea why. Because she can. And my dog, he's just not a talker. Bev, she's busy doing stuff. Pat, my friend Pat, he just left. So here I am all by myself again. No one to talk to except you. So you get to hear me. 6.5 minutes of me talking. 5th of December. We're sitting out here on the front porch. My wife's got shorts on. Got a bloom on her hibiscus. Hibiscus?
Yeah, hot biscuits.
Dogs are all sitting out here. 5th of December. Although it's supposed to be cold tomorrow, though, right?
I think the high is like 60.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we'll have to wear sweatpants.
Yeah, we won't be going outside tomorrow. The high is 60 tomorrow.
Tomorrow's burn day. I am going to cut and burn.
Cut some trees? Okay. Well, we'll have a fire going, so
Yeah.
we won't die from
I'll put my sweaty pants
frostbite.
on, my sweaty pants and my sweaty shirt, and I'll be good to go.
Okay.
And I have to bring my hot biscuit in.
Your hot biscuit? You don't want to die in the 60-degree weather?
Well, I might leave it out tomorrow, then tomorrow night bring it in.
Okay.